Hello. I'm just sitting down, thought I'd have a kitchen chat. I'm kind of bored with myself, to be honest. Yeah. Oh boy, is it ever different when you don't have the garden to do. However, I do have some things to look at regarding the garden, and that's where am I at? What do I want to focus on this year? I don't look at things as fails or whatnot because that's just going to happen. That's the fun of it, actually. It's quite challenging to find the fun in what didn't grow well versus what did grow well, and then what are you going to cook with that you have an abundance of, like kale for me this year. We're eating it and everything. Anyway, it's really warm in here. The sun has been up all morning. So it's 25 degrees in here right now, so that's why I've got a t-shirt on, which is wonderful. That goes, any sunny day, it's 25 degrees, and here can go up to 26. But when we've got full sun, and that's everywhere, even down in the crawl space, everything is 25 degrees right now, so I'm a little hot. As soon as the sun goes down, though, it will start going down, and we have the heat set at 22, actually, so it will kick in at that point. So yeah, just as I'm sitting down here, I thought we'd have a chat. The seed catalogs are arriving, and I'm very conscious of not spending a whole lot of money. It's not, my goal is to save money with vegetables. So I have yet to go through all my seeds and see what I need. But I think this year I might need quite a few because they're old seeds now. Some of them didn't perform as well, and I often forget to throw the packets out, and so anyway. And then I like to see what is my next focus that I want to get better at. So years ago, I wanted to grow enough garlic I've mentioned this before, but I wanted to grow enough garlic to sustain us. And it's really easy to do, so I'm glad I chose that one first so you don't get discouraged. I now have so much garlic. A lot of people, you'd be surprised at how many people say, what do you do with all that garlic? I eat it all. I cook, well, when I'm off, I cook like 3 meals a day, and at least one of those has garlic in it. But even if I'm roasting vegetables, I'm throwing a whole, when you have an abundance, you use it a lot more because it's there, you can enjoy it. So, I roast whole cloves or whole heads. My favorite pasta, aglio e olio. Geez, I just made a soup with my one red curry squash, which I split in two, actually. I got 2 large meals out of that. A good soup, which had kale, garlic, a few carrots, and then half of the squash. And then we had, what else did I make? Oh, I just made a bean roasted thing with the squash, the other half. Some of my frozen beans, the potted beans. What else did I put in there? Kale, lots of garlic, roasted it all up. There was onions. I used up all my leeks, so I finished my leeks that were in the crisper. Yeah, so garlic goes in so many things. Anyway, long-winded there, but that I've mastered, and I grow about 180 to maybe 200. And then onions was my next focus. And this is probably the best year I've had for onions. I'm not alone there either. On the local forums, a lot of us seem to have had a poor potato year. I think it was the heat. Something went wrong. And phenomenal onion year. So it wasn't just me. Lots of people I saw and read had very similar. So this year, I didn't even plant as many onions this year as I did last year, but more than enough. And I mean, what odds if I have to at some point pick up a bag of onions in March or something. So then, yeah, I did really well with, much better with greens. I wanted to focus on greens this year because last year I didn't do well. I had a lot of greens, and that is from lettuce, kale, chard. Didn't do well with the Brussels sprouts, the brassica, but the Brussels sprout tops, I certainly got a lot of those, and I still have some in the crisper. They're a wonderful replacement for cabbage or all kinds of things. So I did well with those. I will still continue that. Leeks, I've actually always done well with my leeks also. So those are very important. Well, the alliums are very important for my cooking, and I'm glad that we're at I don't need to buy any, ever. Beans I did really well with, though it's funny. I've been plowing through my freezer intentionally and my crisper to intentionally use it up because I have so much in there this year. And I noticed that it only takes a few bean stews. I like an Italian bean stew or a Greek bean stew. And it only takes a few of those to really use up my hoard that I put in the freezer. So I'm probably going to, I don't know, I might have to expand. It seems like I had so many. I'll see by the end of the year. I don't need to order those yet. What I need to focus on ordering now, especially with the renewed interest in gardening since COVID and all, is potatoes before they run out. Beans, actually surprising, I couldn't get beans. Oh, I may have to look at the beans. But some of these staples, make sure you get your staples early because they seem to fly out. I'm sure the seed companies have adjusted by now, but we had a couple of hard years there. I got little notes for myself that I talk about, well, in my brain of what I need. I want to grow more rutabaga and focus on that. I had little baby ones come up, but they need to be in good soil, and I've just not been focusing on those. I get little ones every year. But we do use them. Bruce isn't a fan of it, but he eats it in everything, like in soups and stews, and it's important to have. Beets, well, they were a write-off for bug issues, sow bugs or carpenters. I'm going to try them up in another bed, and I'm going to give it a really good go. I don't want to be too discouraged by what happened. I think the carpenters are really enjoying my raised beds. So I'm going to try it in the open ground where there is no wood around and see if that makes a difference because the beets were growing, they grow beautiful here. And they were doing really well until you see, turn them around and you see they're hollowed out completely. Yeah, and we want to focus more on potatoes because we didn't do well with potatoes last year. I've already bought a bag of potatoes, so that's not good. I did much better last year. I think potatoes got me through most of last year. I still have the purple Peruvian, but we don't eat those things. That's not an everyday kind of potato. I never do well with cabbage. Never. And I start them indoors. I often lose them to the mice. The mice love brassicas. And then I start them again, and we don't have a long enough season that mine. Now, everyone around grows, Newfoundland grows beautiful. The growers have beautiful cabbage. I don't. I really stink at it. So I want to do better at that. Broccoli grows really well for me, but I didn't have a good year this year because I lost all my plants and I wasn't here and it was too late. So that's not a fail. That's just the way it goes. Another thing I do now is look at my storage vegetables overall and see what I'm getting through and what's left. So that will let me know what I want to focus on a bit more of. We have a little bit, we have 700 square feet, I think Bruce said, more of growing space, which will probably be a focus of potatoes and I'm not sure what. He'll do a few rows of some other things. And that's good, and it frees up this bed here. So I've got to really think. I'm trying to get the soil better. It all takes time and money to oomph it up, but it's time for a major crop rotation up there. I've been doing the alliums and potatoes for a long time, and I'm going to switch it up this year. Maybe I'll do cabbage and beets up there. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, so what are you guys all growing? Anything interesting or exciting? I did really well with tomatoes this year, surprisingly. And when I say well, that's well for me. Not to put it in a scale of anybody else's, but I've still got so many in the freezer. We're eating them up. Actually, I just made a little pizza thing for lunch. Maybe I'll clip that in the end because I took a little video of it, I think. And then I look at things also. Did I like the varieties? A good example of that is the yellow beets, boulder beets. A, I don't even like the taste of them. B, I try to grow them. I don't know why. Well, I just think they add color. They're pretty. They would be nice, you know, more in a salad, those kind of things, and pretty. But anyway, they don't seem to grow well here for me. And I really don't enjoy the flavor. So why am I growing those? So I'm going to take those off the list. So things that I don't want or need or we just don't eat a lot of. I took kohlrabi off last year. I think I might have planted a few seeds and got a few early ones, but Bruce isn't a fan, and I can always eat it, but you know, why grow it if it's really just not going to, we're not going to plow through it. I'm still all about saving money, not spending money on vegetables. And once we get our first vegetables coming up in whatever the first ones might be, you know, your peas and your early, turnip, those early ones come up, then, and my walking onions and regular bunching onions, my food starts shifting to those, and that could just be as easy as some rice noodles, Asian noodles, and stir fries, soup, Asian soups, stews based on those things, pastas, rice, greens. You can always start cutting your greens early. Salads we start eating early. And so from the moment my first veg comes up, I don't buy vegetables. And I'm very proud of that. I can. It sounds silly. Of course I can. But I don't know. I think I get a kick out of not doing it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to focus on those today, see what I have. I'll have another chat, I suppose, and show you some of the things that I'm going to get. Oh, I brought this out. Look what I got from my sister. Oh, these are gorgeous. I got this for Christmas from my sister. So they're to hang in my pantry. And I've got 3 sizes. Aren't they lovely? So Bruce is going to hang those. He went to the local Canadian Tire and got some hooks to get those up. He's going to put a board and do it underneath where I already have sort of the rake things. So excited. They're beautiful. Whoops, I just threw the camera. Yeah, so that's about it today. I'm kind of going a bit squirrely, so it's my own fault. There's lots of things I could do. I could certainly clean. Always could clean. I'm not in the mood. I cook a lot, but today I wanted to take a break from cooking even. I mean, I really non-stop cook. Maybe I'll ask Bruce to go for a walk. Actually, he's always up for a walk. It's me that you have to kind of coax to get going. That's what maybe we'll do. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day. We have no snow on the ground, which comparably to the rest of Canada is quite amazing for us, and be a good day to enjoy it maybe. Anyway, I'm sure you're all getting your seeds and your ideas in your mind. Many of you are already, I know in the UK, they're already able to start their onions. I won't be starting those things till February here, at which time I start my leeks. I start Brussels sprouts really early. And I got to do it again because they had to fail, and then I had to start them from seed, and all I got was tops after that. However, they grow beautifully here. So that was, again, it's not a failure, it's just life. Yeah, so I don't really need to start anything. I did put some potatoes I had some red Norlands. I still have a few potatoes from last year. And some of the red Norlands, which are medium, early to mid growing potato, were sprouting. So as always, I stuck some in pots. We'll see how they do. My indoor growing is, I've had to cut the pepper plants, even though I said I wasn't going to, because they're just, I don't know why, they're crazy, gigantic plants. So I've been cutting those down. And maybe I'll show you those sometime soon. But for now, I'm going to get on and see what we want to focus on really doing better with. And I know broccoli and cabbage, it's definitely it. And beets, we love pickled beets. And it's a great storage thing for us. And you don't lose any nutrients when you pickle. I know a lot of people go, ooh, pickled beets. That's one vegetable that I do for us. We rely on that. Yeah, I got to do better with those. Squash I always want to do better with, but that's just a fun thing for me. I know I'm never going to quite get squash without a greenhouse to the beauties that I want, but I always keep trying those because they're fun. It's just fun for me. Probably, I don't know, I get such joy out of seeing one of them grow on each plant, kind of thing, but it's fun. Anyway, I'll end it here, and we'll see you next time. And I hope you're all staying warm and safe. Have a great week. Decided to make a snack from frozen veggie stuff in the freezer. So I just toasted a naan bread in my cast iron pan. Then I thawed out some of my pesto that I freeze them in muffin tins. So I thawed out one of those to spread on top. Then I got some frozen leeks and some frozen tomatoes. I just cut the tomatoes in half from frozen, really easy to do, and the leeks from frozen. Topped it off with some grated Parmesan. And then I just grilled under the broil in the oven at high. And it was nice and tasty, and I did it in very few minutes.